I'm not sure about you guys, but I just don't have the time to game like I once used to, so I wanted to make a list of the best games that you can beat on Game Pass in just 2 days. I love games like Starfield, but guys, sometimes you just want to see the end. I'm Sonny, your host here at Xbox Central, and we're going to start this off with Bramble the Mountain King, and this is one of the best for a quick gaming fix for those who don't want to commit to an endless adventure. This indie title is awesome, and it only takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete the main story, and 7 hours if you want to go through all of it. In this game, you play as Ollie, this cool kid on a mission to save his sister from a mean troll. Now, the storytelling in this game is on point, with a bunch of stories interconnected in an absolutely brilliant way to create an adventure like none other. Bramble's gameplay revolves around exploring a dark world filled with challenging puzzles that really keep you hooked all the way to the end. Besides exploration, you will be busy fighting some mean-looking bosses in this game, and they tend to get quite insane, but that's exactly what makes them rewarding in the first place. Bramble also has this creep factor to it that makes you feel like you're constantly being trailed by this dark entity, and the game's not too long or not too short. I feel like it's just the right length to get that really quick gaming thrill. Now, if you've played a lot of good indie games, there's a good chance you've played the game Inside, but if you haven't, well guys, you are missing out on a gem. This is a must play for someone looking for a quick yet mind-bending adventure that only lasts 3 to 4 hours. And Inside, you play as a nameless kid who's caught up in a mysterious project set in a eerily dark world, and your mission is to find a way out of this hell. And for you to do that, you will have to figure out a series of innovatively designed puzzles. Now, as you traverse through this treacherous world filled with insane obstacles and creepy creatures, you're gonna realize quickly there's no quitting. You will be too invested to not see things through. Inside has already received overwhelmingly positive reviews from both players and critics alike for its creative gameplay and stunning dark art style. But if you're looking for a game to tag along with your friends or family and you don't want it to be a long adventure, A Way Out might just be that perfect choice. It's a co-op adventure game where you and your buddy each take on the role of 2 prisoners trying to break free and find redemption. The game's all about collaboration. You need to work together to solve puzzles, plan daring escapes, and tackle various challenges as they come. Each character, Leo and Vincent, has their own background and motivations and abilities. Leo's more of like that street smart, brash type, and Vincent's a little more methodical and strategic thinker. These characteristics influence how you approach situations and you solve problems, so depending on the situation you're in, you might want to consider letting your partner handle things. It's a bit longer than a little bit of the other games on this list, taking about 6 to 8 hours to complete, but guys, trust me, this is a good one. So for me guys, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a true gaming masterpiece that takes you on a harrowing journey into the depths of the human mind. It's a relatively short experience, usually lasting no more than 6 to 8 hours, but one guys that you won't be able to forget anytime soon. In this game, you follow the story of Senua, a Celtic warrior who embarks on a quest to save the soul of her lover, but what truly sets Hellblade apart is its accurate portrayal of mental illness. Senua really grapples with severe psychosis, and the game dives deep into her mental struggles, creating an emotionally charged story. I also love Hellblade's brutal and intense combat that really goes perfectly well with Senua's mental state and personality. The game has already received a ton of overwhelmingly positive reviews from both players and critics, and the best part is guys, you can finish it in 1 or 2 sittings. As I mentioned earlier, this game's unforgettable. I beat it many years ago, and to this day it's still one of my favorite games that I've ever played. So Planet of Lana is a stunning puzzle adventure game that lets you step into the shoes of a young girl on a mission to rescue her peaceful planet from terrifying monsters and alien machines. And I like to think of it as a brighter version of the game Inside, but guys, don't let it fool you into thinking it's any less challenging. It might not look like much on the outside, but trust me, it's an emotionally charged journey that you don't want to miss out on. The game has you exploring a stunningly gorgeous world filled with challenging puzzles and crazy obstacles and giant monsters, and you might have to think outside the box sometimes just to find a way out of these cleverly hidden puzzles. But guys, it never feels impossible, and I love how Planet of Lana makes you feel like you're part of the game's world, and it develops a strong connection between you and its lovely characters. Planet of Lana is about 4 to 5 hour journey, and maybe 6 for those who want to really explore every single aspect of this game. Now, if you have a few more hours to spare, and this is probably I think the longest game on this list, it takes about 15 hours, we have the game Plague Tale Requiem. Trust me guys though, every second of this game's worth it. As a sequel to the fan favorite title Plague Tale Innocence, Requiem doesn't just continue the story, it really cranks it up to 11. The game kicks off in a devastated homeland, but the siblings are hoping to start fresh on a new island. That is until Hugo's powers wake up and everything really starts going south again. The gameplay here though is a blast. It's still a stealth game at heart since both siblings are, well, still like little kids, but this time Amicia's just got more tricks up her sleeve to fight back, and really she's tougher than ever. But it's the story here that really shines the brightest. It's emotional, it's moving, and it's one of those rare games that can actually make you really feel sad for the siblings and their struggles. This is a must play if you happen to not have played this series yet, and it's a great one to add to your list. Our next game, Cocoon, is a unique take on a puzzle adventure game, and it offers an experience that really stands out. In this game, you carry entire worlds on your back as orbs, and the game has you leaping between these worlds, combining and manipulating and rearranging them to solve some pretty head-scratching but fun puzzles that are interconnected. And each world presents you with a unique puzzles and obstacles that really require different methods to solve. Things from like industrial structures to massive organic caverns filled with alien machinery. You're gonna have plenty to uncover to find the connections between them all. Each orb has a distinct power that can be used in other worlds to find hidden pathways or used as a weapon to fight colossal monsters in some pretty epic battles. And these encounters are both challenging and satisfying, really requiring you to master new mechanics for each fight. Cocoon is a must play for someone who loves non-traditional puzzle adventures like Inside, and this only takes about 4 to 5 hours to finish, so not very long, and maybe even more if you're really bad with puzzles like I am. Now, the game Firewatch, I feel, is truly a hidden gem. It's a walking simulator that puts you in the shoes of a guy named Henry. He's a middle-aged man going through a tough time as his wife has been diagnosed with dementia, and he's honestly seeking an escape. He takes a job as a fire watcher in a protected forest area. What's truly amazing about this game is that it doesn't show any faces. You're simply guided by your supervisor, Delilah, through this radio, and yet you still feel strongly for their presence and their personality. Firewatch doesn't require exceptional gaming skills, which is something that I can relate to, since the core gameplay involves just moving around and making choices in Henry's responses. However, it's really the interactions, the voice acting, and the narrative that really makes it feel realistic and rich in character. I can't really explain what makes this game so good, but I feel like after you play Firewatch, you might want to go out for a walk in your local forest and kind of experience all of it. It's a short journey that lasts around 4 to 5 hours, but it's a really good one. Now, if you're looking for a little more story in your life and in your adventures, As Dusk Falls is a good one. This game seamlessly merges the world of movies with the interactivity of video games, and it revolves around the story of two families whose lives become entwined during a tense motel robbery in a small town. And it's going to end up being your choices that are really going to shape their destinies. The game's really a masterclass in interactive storytelling. The decisions you make along the way have real consequences, and there are multiple possible outcomes, really keeping you thoroughly engaged throughout its story. Unlike most games in the genre, As Dusk Falls adopts a unique motion comic format that uses images of real people to tell the story instead of full-fledged animation sequences, and once you start playing this, I really feel like you're going to be glued to your screen for the solid 6-hour ride. Now, if you're looking for a horror game, you could never go wrong with Amnesia: The Bunker. The game's absolutely horrifying, it's challenging and fun all at the same time. It puts you in the shoes of a lone French soldier. He's stuck in a dark World War bunker with no escape in sight. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and a trusty old gun, you have to explore this haunting maze of a world while running away from an evil entity lurking in the shadows but making its presence known at all times. In Amnesia: The Bunker, it's really all about preserving your sanity as you navigate the eerie, the dimly lit corners of the bunker in a desperate quest to find a way out of this nightmarish place. The game brilliantly combines the elements of puzzle solving with the thrill of uncovering the secrets hidden within the bunker. It's a short 5-hour ride, but one that's going to have you sitting on your toes at all times. Sticking with the horror themes, I think we should add the infamous Walking Dead here. It's easily the best graphic adventure game that I've played, and trust me, it keeps you going till you've reached the very end. In the first game, you play as a guy named Lee Everett, and this is a dude with a bit of a sketchy past who ends up taking care of a young girl named Clementine in a world that's gone totally post-apocalyptic and completely overrun by zombies. And your main mission is to survive this entire crazy mess, and it's definitely no cakewalk. What makes The Walking Dead really stand out is all the character development and choices you'll see. The decisions you make really shape the story, and trust me, they do matter. Whether you're completely believing someone or you're saving a life or you're making some really tough super calls, it really affects how the story unfolds. The definitive edition does offer all 4 seasons of the game, and each season averages around 10 to 12 hours. So if you want to continue the adventure and see them all through, it won't take up too much of your time. And the cool thing is you have that entire ability with Game Pass, as the entire Walking Dead series is here. So The Legend of Tian Ding is an action-packed side-scrolling adventure game that takes you back to the early 20th century Taipei, and the game puts you in the shoes of a Taiwanese Robin Hood, Liao Tian Ding, a legendary outlaw fighting against the colonial Japanese authorities. And the story of this game is said to be based on real-life events that are brilliantly cleverly portrayed in the style of traditional Chinese manga. But it's the epic combat system that outshines all. You can pull off wicked aerial combos, you can swipe weapons from your foes, even zip around the battlefield with your trusty waist sash and grappling hook. It really makes you feel like a kung fu master. And let's not forget about the epic boss battles. You'll go head to head with deadly warriors, greedy businessmen, and even military big shots, each requiring you to plan your approach with absolute care. It's a short one with the main quest line taking around 5 hours to complete, but if you're really looking to be a completionist, it takes about 10 hours in total. Now, if you're a fan of old school first-person shooters like Doom, you're in luck. Slayers X is a blast from the past that takes you back to the good old 90s shooters mods that puts you in the shoes of Zane, an ex-slayer determined to take on an evil organization called Psycho Syndicate. And these guys are hell-bent on destroying humanity with a mysterious hack-blood weapon. Now, if you guys don't have the stomach to digest some seriously 90s graphics and gore-filled gunplay, I say just simply skip this game. But if you do, Slayers X will get your heart pumping with its fast-paced combat as you mow down enemies with a diverse set of weapons, from double pistols to the glass blasters and a lot more. What's interesting though is the fact that Slayers X is actually a game that was started to be made in the 90s and it just finally got released just recently. You can finish this game in one sitting as the main story only takes about 5 hours, including the side quests. So our next game is The Gunk. It's a pretty short 4 to 5 hour space adventure that puts you in the shoes of Ronnie. This is a young astronaut and her crew who finds themselves on an untouched planet teeming with life and seemingly holding the key to unimaginable riches and, well, even alien creatures. The game has you exploring this massive and gorgeous world to uncover the secrets to its past life while eliminating the gunk parasite with the help of your trusty power glove. Now, as you progress through the game, you're going to learn about your crew members and their past life stories, which are going to strengthen your bond with them. Now, at the heart of the gunk is the struggle to cleanse the planet from the parasites and uncover its mysteries, and the game's narrative is deeply mixed with the exploration of lush forest areas, dark caves, and forgotten societies of the jungle. It's a super short adventure that lasts around 4 to 5 hours, but it's great for someone who loves a more relaxing take on action adventure game. Grim Fandango Remastered is an absolute gem of a game, especially for those who appreciate dark humor. It's a remastered version of the classic adventure game from the late 90s that's still as fun as it was back then. Now, this game's set in the land of the dead, and you play as Manny Calavera, a travel agent for the recently departed souls. This unique premise alone really sets the stage for a one-of-a-kind adventure. The game is loved for its dark humor, its quirky characters that you meet along the way, and this remastered version of the game stays true to the roots of the original while enhancing the graphics and the gameplay to make it more fun for modern players. Now, the writing here is top-notch and the voice acting is superb, making every character feel unique and full of personality. It's a fun bit of point-and-click puzzle adventure that takes around 10 hours to finish depending how long it takes you to solve puzzles. Of course, someone that's dumb like me, it's going to take longer. I personally played this back in the 90s as a very young kid. It's just one of those games that is truly memorable, and the remastered version's no different. Speaking of souls in the afterlife, we have yet another delightful indie action adventure title that's worth mentioning, and that game's Death's Door. This is a game where you step into the role of a Kroll who works as a reaper in a bureaucratic afterlife. But when a soul that you're responsible for is stolen, it sets you on this epic journey through mysterious realms filled with quirky characters and formidable bosses in a rich interconnected world. While it may seem cute, Death's Door offers intense combat with fluid animation and responsive moves that really allow for some epic battles, and the wide variety of weapons and abilities at your disposal really keeps you ready to take on an array of cleverly designed enemy and bosses. And the exploration is also a core mechanic of this game, as the world is filled with secrets and shortcuts and hidden pathways that only a true explorer can find. Now, Citizen Sleeper is an RPG title that offers an innovative gameplay experience. In this game, you play as a sleeper, a digital brain in an artificial body owned by a mega corporation, and they're itching to get you back. But you're not going down without a fight, of course. Citizen Sleeper draws its inspiration from tabletop role-playing games, and it really shows. The dice, the clocks, and drives keep you in control, letting you choose your path through this depressing yet intriguing world. This RPG isn't about following quests, but rather making your own story with the help of these dice rolls and drives. You'll be building friendships, you'll be making tough choices, and uncovering the secrets all at the same time, and you'll need to hack into the station's cloud, uncover agendas, and explore hidden data to try and survive the next cycle of death. You can finish this game in about 7 hours, or you can explore it all in about 12 hours for absolute completion. Now, with the game Celeste, this game can be as short as 6 hours or it can be as long as 35 hours depending on what you want to achieve, and this is an incredibly engaging platformer that puts you in the shoes of Madeline. She's a young girl with a dream to climb this mysterious Celeste mountain. Now, the gameplay is all about precision platforming. You'll have to jump, dash, and climb your way through a series of tough levels, and trust me, they get seriously challenging. I've literally seen people rage. But what sets Celeste apart is its storytelling. Along the way, you'll uncover Madeline's personal struggles, and the game beautifully explores these themes like mental health and self-acceptance. You will come across all types of characters along the way, each with their own advice and suggestions. What I love about Celeste is that it makes platforming accessible to all thanks to its adjustable difficulty, and it makes it easy for beginners, easy enough, and challenging for hardcore platformers like I said earlier. And another awesome aspect to this game is honestly its gorgeous art style. I really like it. I know some of you are going to scoff at that, but I really enjoy it. And then the absolute killer soundtrack. Guys, this is a must play if you've never played Celeste, even if you're not a fan of platformers. Overcooked 2 is an incredibly fun and chaotic cooperative cooking game that's perfect for playing with friends or family. You and your team of chefs and cooks have to prepare various dishes in crazy kitchens filled with obstacles and ever-changing layouts. It's a really super hectic game that's really easy to pick up for beginners but hard to master. I know, I even got my own mom to play this and she really enjoyed it, and she is not a gamer at all. Now the sequel comes packed with new recipes, levels, and mechanics such as throwing ingredients in dynamic kitchens and really keeping the gameplay fresh and fun. Overcooked 2 is all about testing your communication and coordination skills, leading to lots of shouting and strategizing and hilarious mishaps. It will keep you hooked for around 8 to 10 hours with its main levels, but you can stretch it all the way to 20+ hours if you want to achieve every single possible achievement in this game. And this game is beatable solo and playable solo if you want to tackle this completely on your own. What I love about Outer Worlds is that it's a wild space adventure that's kind of a throwback to the good old RPG days, but with a modern twist. The game's set in a world where giant corporations run the show, and it's like a dark, funny take on what can happen when capitalism goes really wild. Some of the gameplay elements remind me of Fallout New Vegas, but Outer Worlds is kind of more humorous. Even your companions can be very quirky, each with their own crazy personalities, stories, and jokes to tell. And then there's the combat, and I think this is an absolute blast, even if it's not as complex as Fallout. It sure is equally as exciting and fun to me, especially with the slow-mo target mechanics that allow you to target specific body parts on enemies with ease. You also have a variety of powerful weapons at your disposal, from traditional firearms to sci-fi plasma guns that really alter your playstyle according to your own liking. It's really a perfect grab bag for RPG lovers, and it keeps you hooked for around 13 hours following the main story. But if you're like me and you kind of want to do all the side quests and explore everything the game has to offer, and I explored every single inch because that's how much I like this game, it can get around 50 hours. But honestly guys, the main story is enough to really get big joy out of this one. And if you're looking for a high quality adventure just like the game I mentioned, I have a list of games that have the absolute best to play on Game Pass, so check out that video on the screen.